What's up, everybody? This is your man Sambo here with another Red Eyed Pup tip. This is going to be number two. It's a series of videos that I'm going to start doing to kind of help out some of the younger players, younger kids that are just getting into guitar playing that might have questions or are just curious about something, and maybe I can help them out. What I was going to touch on today is beginning gear as far as electric, things of that nature, and it'll give you a little bit of a jump start on the game. Now, one thing is, I did mention in my last video that an acoustic guitar is a great way to start. You can usually find them pretty cheap used, or even brand new. You can get one for 100, 120 bucks, and they're a good guitar. But as I aforementioned, you got to be real careful and to look at the string height and stuff like that to make sure it's going to be a good guitar for you. Now, starting out, also, you can start with an electric. They're easier to play. You can get smaller strings for them, so you don't have to press so hard on the neck. And you can get all kinds of neat stuff for them to make them sound cool. Now, one of the things that I wanted to touch on is beginning amplifiers as well as beginner guitars. One of the ones that you want to look at, or the brands that you want to look at are, say, for example, Squier or Epiphone. Nowadays, they make really good starter guitars, as well as Jackson, LTD. I know Schecter had some pretty good entry-level stuff. Mitchell makes some pretty decent beginner electrics. There's quite a few. And as well as, don't forget to look at the used market, on OfferUp or Craigslist, stuff like that. And you can find some pretty decent guitars for pretty cheap. Now, also amplifiers. One of the things you can look at is, I like the Line 6 stuff. You can usually find them pretty cheap. You can get a decent combo for about 100 bucks, 120 bucks. And you'll get something that's big enough to where once you get a little better and start maybe playing with your friends and stuff like that, you can turn it up pretty loud and still sound pretty good. Also, Fender makes the Mustang series, which they're pretty good from what I hear. I haven't played through one personally, but I have a friend that likes them quite a bit. Peavey, on the used market, Peavey and Crate, they're not the greatest amplifiers, but they're a good way to get started. Especially, turning the EQ knobs and stuff like that. If you go back into my videos and where it shows me dialing in a Line 6 Spider combo, that'll be a good way to start. Also, you don't have to necessarily go with an actual amplifier, because online, of course, they have downloadable amp simulators with the appropriate hardware, interface and things of that nature. You could actually play just through your computer and have a whole bunch of different amplifiers. But one of the solutions I use is this right here. This is the Line 6 Pod. This is like the second or third one they've done. It's kind of old. It's from the early to mid 2000s, but it's got a whole bunch of different amps, effects, speaker cabinets, microphones, all kinds of stuff built in. And the cool part is, instead of having to worry about plugging into a power amp or something like that, you just plug your guitar in here, then plug in headphones right here, and silent practice. Nobody can hear you except for yourself, which your parents will thank you for that, trust me. But also, I have the little bit newer version as well, the HD 500, which you can pick those up for a little bit more. The one I just showed you, I got it for, I think, 70 bucks on OfferUp. The Pod HD 500, the one I got, it cost about 200 bucks. But the external stuff you can do with it, minus a few amp models and a few other things, it's a pretty advanced effects unit, and that's a good way to go as well. because it kind of helps you learn what amp sounds you like, what effects you like. Gives you a very wide parameter of what you can look at. But also, if you end up going the cheaper amp route, you know, the little practice combos that are maybe a foot tall or whatever, amplifiers or pedals. Me, I'm a pedal guy. I love guitar pedals. Overdrives, distortions, things of that nature is really fun to play with. But also, you have several other effects that are on songs that you didn't even know existed. And nowadays, with the advent of Amazon and things like that, you can get a lot of those pedals for 20, 30, 40 bucks a piece. And they sound good. One of my buddies, he got the Amazon Basics pedal, one of them. And it sounds just like his $100 pedal. It's just a little cheaper made, but what does it matter if you're not playing shows, right? So, one of the companies that I like using is MXR. They make a really good pedal, really tough. They're a little bit more expensive. They're usually in between the $60 and $120 range. And as long as you keep them clean, and yeah, that's about it. Just clean them every once in a while, and they last for a long time. That's pretty much it. It really does not take much to get started as far as required money nowadays, because you can really make your money go far, especially if you take advantage of the used market. If you go on OfferUp or Craigslist, you can find probably an entire beginner setup with under $300 guaranteed. Just make sure to tell your parents and have them look at it, and of course get their approval, because yeah, that's really about it. I'm going to end this video right here, and then I'm going to take you through kind of like a little tour of some of the stuff that I just mentioned, and kind of give you a little explanation with it of why I use what I use. Because a lot of times I don't actually play through my half stacks that you might have seen on my older videos. Because sometimes I just want to plug into something real quick and work out a song idea, or just riff around, practice, play a couple of songs, what have you. And it's easier just to plug into a combo or that little pod thing I showed you and dial up a sound real quick and get to rocking. So on that, talk to you in a bit. Bye.